Hey guys, I'm Matt Montana, you're watching MONT TV, and this is my first review since my MONT TV YouTube channel broke the 100 subscriber mark. Yay! Thank you so much. I am eternally grateful for your continued support. So what do we do to celebrate? That's right, we go watch another movie. Yes, I'm here at Cineworld in Bracknell for a special preview screening of the new Vin Diesel comic book adaptation, Bloodshot. No DC or Marvel here, guys. No, Bloodshot is from Valiant Comics and first came to print in a cameo in an edition called Eternal Warrior #4 back in November 1992. Vin Diesel plays Marine Ray Garrison. After he and his wife are murdered, he is resurrected by a group of scientists and turned into a superhuman biotech killing machine, a super soldier. Bloodshot. Isa Gonzalez, Sam Heughan, and Toby Kebbell also star, along with the wonderful Guy Pearce, who to me will always be Mike Young from the glorious Aussie soap series Neighbours. I can picture them all now, Scott and Charlene, Harold Bishop and Madge, Mrs. Mangle. Anyway, back to Bloodshot. Making his debut in the director's chair, we have David S.F. Wilson. With the story / screenplay by Jeff Wadlow, who coincidentally directed the last movie that I reviewed here, Fantasy Island. You guys be sure to check that out. Now, if this movie lives up to the brilliant trailers that I've been seeing, then I'm in for a treat tonight. Let's go check this out. How we doing?
Not too bad, how you doing?
It's elbows, man, it's elbows. Okay guys, I've just finished watching Bloodshot, Vin Diesel's new movie. Here's my instant response movie review. We'll start with the positives. It looks good. It looks good on the screen. There's some wonderful special effects, and particularly one bit when they rebuild an Italian port by CGI imagery. It's quite phenomenal. So there are some good positives in the visuals, I must say. Even though some of the set pieces, action scenes and that are quite distinctly average during the film, the finale is actually rather good. So it does build up to something quite credible and quite good. Like I said earlier, it is taken from the Valiant comic books, and I'm not familiar with these. I'm not familiar with Bloodshot. I get the feeling it was quite authentic to the comic books, although, you know, fans of the comic books would have to tell me that. So if you are a fan of the comic books, I'd love you to check this movie out and let me know how you feel about this. You'd probably enjoy it. It could quite possibly be too comic book though. A little bit too comic book. Right, well this is a bit of an honour because I didn't realise this, but in watching the screening with me is Paul here. Now he's the manager. This is the manager of Cineworld in Bracknell. We're going right to the top here. Paul, what did you think, my man?
I actually quite enjoyed the film. I found it was a film that I didn't know that I actually wanted to watch, so I really enjoyed it, to be fair.
Yeah? Highlights of the movie. What was the plus point of the movie?
I think it was the CGI. There was this bit of the boatyard where it just appeared. And
In the Italian port.
Yeah, that's the one. I just didn't expect it to be that.
I've mentioned this. It does blow you away, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was just something I was like, what? This is brilliant.
Yeah.
And I actually thought, how have they done this?
Yeah.
It was just so good. But for me as well, there was this guy Wiggins, British actor. Brilliant. Need that little bit of comedy in there.
It needed that, yeah, definitely, yeah. Fair play. So I'm going to give it to you a score out of 5.
I actually like your scoring.
Okay.
It's fair.
All right, okay.
It's fair. It's good scoring.
Thanks very much. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it a bit of a score, and you're going to see it when it's edited.
I will see
yeah?
it.
And then we're going to bump into each other, you know that anyway. Yeah, brilliant. Paul, what a privilege to have you on MONT TV, my man. How does it feel?
Privileged.
Yeah! Good man. Nice one. Okay, now the negatives, and this is my problem with the movie. First and foremostly, my mind was wandering and I found myself waiting for the end, which is never a good sign when you're watching a movie in the cinema. Secondly, I really didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about Ray Garrison, Vin Diesel, I didn't care about Bloodshot really, maybe a little bit at the end, but I didn't care about anyone in this movie. Thirdly, and this is the most important point, and this is my biggest problem, it's all been done before. Everything had been done before in one film or another. There was hardly anything original. It was the stereotypical way of building up a superhero or remaking, a superhuman in some form. It'd all been done before. If you took every other superhero movie or action movie, it's all been done before. There was nothing original, and that is a big problem. I've got a bit more to say about this movie, and we're going to do that in Drive Time. Okay, people, this is Drive Time, and we're obviously discussing the fallout from viewing Bloodshot. Now, this is some of my problems with it. Basically, like I was saying, it's all been done before. When you see the premise and you see that it says a soldier murdered, then brought back to life as a super enhanced machine, but then he starts remembering his past and he's a little bit annoyed about that. That automatically reminds me of one of my most favourite movies, RoboCop. Yes, that was made in 1987. Paul Verhoeven, wonderful director, and honestly, is a 5-star masterclass classic. Go and see RoboCop if you haven't ever seen it. It's absolutely awesome. This is basically trying to do what RoboCop does. There's no point in watching Bloodshot because RoboCop does it tremendously better. Also, again, rebuilding soldiers, superhuman soldiers after they've perished and died. Reminds me of another film from the summer of 1992. I know this came out in 1992 because I remember exactly that sort of time period of my life, and it was in the summer, so that would have been July kind of time. Universal Soldier with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. Not quite, that's certainly not up there with RoboCop by any stretch of the imagination, but it certainly does do what this movie is claiming to do also. It's trying to do also, yeah? Now, if you think back to what I was saying earlier about the fact that Bloodshot got a cameo in a comic in November 1992, yeah? So this was after, and then basically got his own full comic strip in later that month in November 1992, okay? So what I'm saying is, this come out, November 1992, came out after Universal Soldier in July 1992, and obviously years after 1987 RoboCop. So it's a rip-off of both those things in my eyes. Also, another movie it tries to be is, I would say, the Bourne films, yeah? Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum, Jason Bourne. I love the Jason Bourne movies. I think they're fantastic. Go and watch them. They're so much better than this far inferior movie. Okay, so there we have it. Some people who know more about Bloodshot than I do the actual comic book will probably appreciate this a bit more. So I have to be a bit careful in my scoring here. Right, my official MONT TV scoring out of 5 stars for Bloodshot is 2.5 stars. Yeah, I'm going to give it that. I think that is fair, actually. And ultimately, it has all been done before. So just go and watch RoboCop. Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop. You'll absolutely love it. Not the remake. Don't watch the remake. Don't waste your time doing that. Watch the original. Okay? Cool. So I'm signing off. 101 subscribers to the channel to date, and keep them coming, please, guys. Really appreciate it, as always. Let's get to the 200 mark and see where we stand there. Thanks very much. See you soon.